So the biggest part of this product that we're looking at here is what we call the structure tab. Now, we looked at some of the details of the team and some of the folder structures where the information is being controlled and managed, but under the structure tab is where we get into looking at such things as the bill of materials. In this particular case, we call it a product structure. So here's a high-level representation of the different parts and the assemblies and the sub-assemblies that actually make up this kidney dialysis machine that we're looking here. So it's really more than a bill of material as we look at it. So for example, if I select on the top level here, I can come in and say, show me all the related information at the top level. Here I just selected documents. So at the top level, I can see all the documents that are associated at the top level of this particular product. And that holds true as we go down through the different sub-assemblies. So if I came in here and I said, show me all, or just show me documents, again, so now I have a number of documents that are associated with this sub-assembly. And I also now see where I start to pick up some of my CAD information. So if I had any CAD models or drawings associated to this particular level, those would show up as well. So here we're actually looking at a Creo model. So not only can PTC manage its own CAD information, but we can also manage third-party CAD information. So for example, if I came back up and I close this sub-assembly down and I go to this third-party sub-assembly here, and at the top level I say, show me all, or just show me my CAD documents. I'll just do show all. And I can see, I think there's a couple more here. I can come down and show my CAD documents. So you can see at these different levels, I can see my SolidWorks assembly, and that's supported by two lower parts, two SolidWorks parts here. So I'm also managing, within this bill of information, I'm managing associated documents, all associated CAD, both PTC CAD information as well as third-party CAD information associated with it. So coming back up to my top level here, I'm just going to work through a couple of these tabs. So if I had any, if needed to add any related objects, I can do that through this tab here. So you can see here is where I add my reference documents to the top level. If there's any changes associated to here, so we support a full engineering change process for engineering change request and engineering change notices, as well as if there were any non-conformances or complaints or CAPAs against this particular product, we can manage all that here, or at least reference it in one particular location, as well as the history. So we have a complete history here of all the changes as this goes through its life cycle for this particular product. So if I come back now to my top level here, so I've shown you the bill of material, the related information. One other thing I'd like to show is now this information that's being stored against the top level is also the information that's going to drive our design history file. So a design history file, if I came into my DHF here, so this is a table that captures all information associated with this particular product. So as documents are added, as parts are added, as changes take place, it's all being queried and it's all being categorized on this DHF. So here I can see all my documents. As I move down through it, I can see all my changes. I can see my CAD parts. I'm not going to go all the way through it, but if I go down towards the end, I'm going to actually see some of my complaints that have been logged against that, and any particular CAPAs associated with it as well. And they're all my parts associated to this particular design history file. Now, by default, it's configured to run the query overnight at midnight to pick up all the changes, but we also have the ability that if you wanted to run this query and update this table, you can just do that on the fly here, and it'll just take a moment as it goes out and queries the top level and the sub-assemblies, and it finds everything that's been added, changed to this particular design history file. We'll just give it a second to come back. Okay, so now my design history file has been updated, so any changes that may have taken place, they would now be in my design history file. Also, if I needed to come in and needed to print this out, if I needed to, it's going under an FDA audit or something, and I just obviously not going to let the auditor into the system of record, and I can show them a report, and I can open that up. And here's a report of my design history file, which version, the date I just ran that, and all information. So it's the same information that I was shown in the table earlier. You can see my parts, my CAD, my customer experience, what's the complaints, all my parts, all information associated to my design history file is now in that report. And in a similar fashion, also for the device master record, the information that's chosen to be taken from the design history file is added to the DMR, and the DMR is again stored against this top level part, and it's updated accordingly. It can be run the query right away, or again it's set up to run overnight. So here we can see some of the CAPAs and the parts and documents associated for device master record. Okay, so with that said, I think that's the completion of my high-level overview. So we just started with some basic Windchill user interface with the home page. We did some searching and then went through a couple of examples for different context within Windchill. So we showed some libraries where you can store standard documentation such as SOPs and quality documents. Then we went into projects, which showed an example of supplier collaboration or contract manufacturing collaboration workspaces, as well as managing projects and schedules and plans with milestones and deliverables and such in support of design control. And then rolling that over to products where we're managing the actual design inputs and design outputs against a particular product with the product structure, the related information and documents in CAD, also any engineering changes against that particular product, and then wrapping that all up within the deliverable for the design history file in the device master record.